Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel, and so this is our first crochet video episode. So I actually learned crocheting a long time ago, but I never ever posted it in YouTube. So first time I thought maybe I could just post it in YouTube, and the first video I'm gonna be doing is, ta-da, my heart. I got it stained from here. So I'm gonna be telling you how to crochet this beginner friendly heart. I'm gonna be explaining it step by step. I'll try my best to. And let's start with the materials required. So first we need a hook. Hook is hook, we in crochet we use a hook, while in others we use other things, and I'm gonna be using a 3 hook. I don't know if you could see it clearly. And then we need yarn. So I'm going to be using a yellow color yarn, and you can use your own brand which you trust. And I'm going to be using Oshwal, which is nearby what I can find. I'm planning to buy a new yarn from Little Things because I believe her yarn is more better. And now the next thing required is a darning needle, and then I could just sew it off, and then you need a stitch marker. Well, I'm using a safety pin. You could even use anything like leftover yarn pieces, you could use it, or you could even use the real plastic stitch marker or here, or you could even use a safety pin. I'm going to be using a safety pin. And then you need to have a scissors, and you need to have stuffing. So instead of stuffing, you could also use cotton, or you could use the leftover pieces of crochet yarn. I had made so many projects. I had a lot of I had a lot of yarn leftover, so I'm gonna be using the leftover yarn to do it. And then let's just get started with the video. So now let's start it. And now I'm going to be telling you how to do a magic ring. Actually, magic ring is really hard, magic ring, it's really hard that so many people find it hard to even do it. So I'm going to be telling you step by step so that you could learn it. So now you need to have the yarn in the right side, and then you can use your help of the hands now. So you see this index finger and the middle finger. Now just you have the yarn over here, just make a cross out of it like this. You could hold it in the index and the middle finger like this, and then just make a cross like this, like a slanting, and then just turn it here, make a straight line, and then just turn back, and then just go across it like this to form an X. Just go across like that, and then turn over, and you will find another line, but this time you go over the middle, the ring finger. So you have a short length and a long length line. Here it will cross over this line, and here it will cross over this line. Now we'll take the help of the hook, which is the most important thing in the whole crochet history. Just go under, you see, for this yarn, go underneath it, and then for this yarn, just go above it like this. So you just drag it like this, and then just twist it. I'll show it to you again because it's actually a confusing part. I will show it to you again. So you have to do is make sure these things are tight, or else you might not get it properly. Just drag it, and then just twist it. Okay, and you see, this one you had at if when the longest length it's over here, just go down this one, the index finger and the I mean the ring finger and the middle fingers middle. Just go over there, and then go through the loop you have it in this one. So like this. Ta-da! You made your first magic ring if it's your first project. And then this one, you see here is a chain, then you made it right. Just remove it from here like this. Remove the thing which is going over here. This is called as the yarn tail. This one is the working yarn. So, and I wanna congratulate to all of you guys for making it over here, cause making an making the magic ring is really hard, and you did it. So congratulations. So now I'm gonna telling you how to hold the hooks or and the yarn. So for holding the hook, there are many ways of holding the hook. Many people hold it like like a knife, or else you could even use it like a pencil. So I'm gonna be using like a pencil, which I feel more convenient. Now, um, now I'll show you how to hold the yarn. So you see this big loop or the loop over here, right? Later you did it, and this one is the working yarn, which working yarn is connected to the ball directly, and then you could use it. So if it is a long, if you get a long length like this, then what you do is you just drag the working yarn. You just you hold it over here and drag it, so you'll just tighten it. And then how to hold is it, there are so many ways to hold it, and how I hold it is like a different way. So just have all the yarn in the four fingers like this, and then just use these two fingers, the thumb and this finger, to hold the crochet project like this, and then use these two fingers, this one, to hold it over here like this. And you see the left over here, it will be like supplying the yarn like this. So together will be like having it like this. Just the yarn will be going from there, and then you'll be using these two to hold it like this. And then here it will, you can use it to hold the yarn whenever you want. You can just loosen it, so you can just use it like this, like a supply. So now I'm going to be telling you how to do it. First we need to make 6 single crochet. Single crochet is nothing but a type of stitch, and I'm going to be telling you clearly. So you see there are two loops. So insert your hook into the to these into the magic ring like this, and then you'll have 3 loops over here. One, two, three loops, because you have to make sure you insert the yarn tail also. So I'm just gonna be holding all of the 3 like this for my convenience, and then now just yarn over, make sure this hook goes underneath, and you get it like this. So yarn over, and then go through these 2 loops. So yarn over, and then go through, pull it through these 2, and now you have 2 loops. So yarn over and go through these 2 loops. Ta-da! You have your first single crochet. It's like this, something like this. So you'll find a chain over here. This one is called as one chain. Now use a stitch marker to mark it. So stitch markers are important, so that while you make a total circle, it's gonna be really useful. So just insert it into the first stitch. First stitch is nothing but the first V. So we have this loop over here. You see we have this V. So insert it through this V underneath the V, and then just close it. Now just go back into the loop over here. Now we have to make six of these single crochet. I'm going to be explaining the first few, and later you can do the rest of it by your own. So now yarn over, not need you just need to go into the hook loop or the magic ring over here. Just yarn over, go through these two loops first. You have two more loops in your hook, yarn over, and then go through these two loops. Now you find two chains over here. Now how to count is like the number of V's when you point it upward. So one, two. Now yarn over, yarn over. I mean, on it, yarn over. I've been confusing myself. So you see, go underneath the magic ring over here, and then yarn over, go through these two, yarn over, and then go through these two. Now you find four loops, one, two, three, four. How you count it is like based on the V's you when you put it up, what you get. So this one is a V. So one, two, three. So currently there are three V's, and I'll meet you when I completed all of them. So I'm back, and you see I have made totally six. How you basically count it is, so here it's one, and then you see the chains over here, right? Two, three, four, five, six. So I have six chains. Now what you do is you have to, you see the yarn tail over here. You have gone through all of them, right? You just pull the yarn tail tightly. So you just have to pull it to tighten it. Just pull it tight. So you will find a circle formed over here. Now just insert your hook back into this loop. And now you remember here where you use the stitch marker to mark the first stitch. So what you do is insert your hook into that loop, and then remove the stitch marker. Now what you're gonna be doing is a slip stitch. So a slip stitch is nothing but you're gonna be connecting this stitch and this stitch together. Instead of making a chain, you're gonna be connecting it together. So first yarn over, go through the V over here. You know you have to go underneath the V. So yarn over, then pull it through that. Now this one should go inside this one. So yeah, just pull it through this loop, and then just tighten it. Ta-da! So you have just made your round one. So round one is basically nothing. So you made a big a circle over here. Now let's just go for round two. Yarn over, and now you have to make a chain actually, because we need the height of it to do it properly. So yarn over, go through this loop, so you have a chain one. Now you have chained one over here. So now what you have to do is actually you have to do an increase. An increase is basically nothing but in one stitch you're gonna have actually two single crochet. So you see under this V we are gonna be having two single crochet. So basically how to do that is nothing but, you see, first we need to go over the first stitch. You could find it over here. So just go through the first stitch, which is basically near the loop, and then just yarn over, go through that V. Now yarn over again, and then go through these two loops. Now you have made your first single crochet. Now mark it with a stitch marker. Round 2 is basically just the same, it's repetitive, so I'm gonna be telling it one time. Now you made a single crochet in this stitch, as you can see. So now what you basically do is make another single crochet in the same stitch. So insert your hook back into the same stitch where you did it. Now yarn over, go through the loop. You have two loops, yarn over, go into these two. So tada, you made your first increase. So basically you have to do this increase all around over here, so that you could just expand the circle properly. Instead of just closing it, like you could expand the circle. So I'm gonna be explaining it again. Now insert your hook into the next stitch, which is this V. Go underneath the V, the two lines, and then yarn over, go through this one. Now yarn over, go through these two. Now again insert your hook back into the same stitch, yarn over, go through here, and then yarn over, go through these two stitches. Now do the same process for all of the stitches, and I'll meet you back when I did that. So now I made all of the increases over here, so I have completed it. Now what you have to do is just connect the round with the first stitch we marked it with the stitch marker. So and then just remove the stitch marker. Remember where the first stitch is located, and then insert it into the first stitch. Now just yarn over, go through this one. Now we have inserted through that, and then now insert it through this loop. Now just tighten it. So now let's start round 3. So just again chain 1, chain 1. Now it's just a simple process. We already knew it, because you know that we have to do single crochet. Now it's gonna be the easiest one of all. So just simply after you chained one, you just have to do single crochet in each stitch. So you see the stitch are marked by the V's over here. So just insert it into the first stitch here, and then yarn over, pull through it. You have two loops, yarn over, go through these two loops. And always remember, you have to mark it with a stitch marker. It's always important, or else you'll get confused. Now you did stitch in the first stitch. Now go to the next stitch, or the next stitch is over here, and then just yarn over, pull it through it. Then you'll have 2 loops, yarn over and go through the 2 loops. Go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull it through that too, and you'll have 2 loops, yarn over and go through these 2. So crochet all across, single crochet in each stitch. This is the round 3, and I'll meet you when I reach out. Now I have completed the round actually, so now we have to connect it back to this stitch. So just remove the stitch marker, remember where the stitch marker is located, and then just insert your hook into that. I have troubles with these little stitches, they really hate me. Now just yarn over, pull it through the loop over here. Now now just pull it through this loop too, and then just tighten it. And now see how I've received an like a bubble like stuff, as you can see, as part of our heart, which has the top. Now we have to repeat round 1 to 3 again. So now I'll tell you, just pull a big loop and then just use the scissors and cut it, and then just drag the working yarn. Now you see you have just tighten it. Now repeat this round 1 2 3 again, and don't just cut it. Instead of cutting it, just keep it over there, and I'll meet you back over there without cutting it. Now I have actually connected it, and I have did the second one like I have mentioned it. Just don't cut it off, okay? And now you see the second one, we have to connect it together. And many of you, I noticed a mistake that like many of you will be crocheting from this side and they'll be connecting it from this side, which is actually not good, because this one is actually the good side, and this side is actually the not so good side. So we have to always show the good side, so that's why you have to connect it with the good side. That's why I flipped it off simply. And now you have this, right? You could connect it to any, you can connect this thing to anywhere you could connect it in the squeeze. So I'm going to be connecting it over here. Now just do a simple single crochet, just taking the yarn, working yarn, make sure the tails aren't at your side, and then just do a single crochet, random single crochet. So just like 1. Now you have 2 loops, yarn over, and then go through these 2. Now mark it to the first stitch. So now what you have to do is so now just continue crocheting all across here, 24. So now you have to like go all across until we meet the stitch marker. It may look difficult, but it's actually easy, and here there are no increases, no decreases or anything, just doing a single crochet. So after you did this, now go over this side, the next stitch, and then yarn over, go pull it through. You have 2, yarn over, go through these 2. So do the same thing. I know you got pretty hang of it doing single crochet because we did it in round 3 and so many more times. So I'm gonna be actually, I'll meet you when I am reaching over here. Actually, the round wouldn't be over yet because you have to crochet all across over here, then it'll be over, but I'll meet you over here when we are there, so to just save time, meet you over there. So now we have did I have did all across over here, but to confirm it that you have completed this round or not, you have to count from here, from the first stitch to here. If there are 12 in total, that means you have completed the round. So just go ahead and count it. So I have 12 over here. So that means I had the round correctly and I have done it. Now you see you have to connect it to this one's first stitch. You really have to stretch it to see it. So the stitch marker is here, then means you have to insert your hook over here. The next one over here like this. Now just place the normal single crochet. Make sure these tails are like the confusing part. Actually this heart is easy to make, but the tails will make it complicated. So just keep the tails on the other side so it will look more easier. Now just place a normal single crochet. Yarn over. You have 2 loops. Yarn over. Pull it through these 2. Now you have did your first thing. Now go to the next stitch and then yarn over, go through here. You'll have 2 loops, yarn over and go through it. Again go through this one, yarn over, pull it through. You have 2 loops, yarn over and then pull it through this. I'll meet you when I have reached the stitch marker over here after I completed this. So now I have crocheted all across. Now what you have to do is connect this one to the slip stitch, the first stitch, like we did for the circles above over here. Like that you have to connect it, which is actually easy. Just remove the stitch, place it over here. I'm gonna be placing it and remove it because I'll get easily confused. Now just do a slip stitch. To do a slip stitch you have to just yarn over, pull it through the loop. We'll have 2 loops. Now you just pull this first loop into the second loop, and then always remember, tighten it. Tightening is really important, so that you wouldn't mistake it as in any other stitch. Now let's go with round 5, which you have to chain 1, yarn over, pull it through it. So chain 1. Now you have to go through your next stitch, which is gonna be the first stitch of the round. So just, you can see this, if you exaggerate you'll find the first stitch. Go over there, you'll find a V, yarn over, pull it through that. You'll have 2 loops, yarn over and pull it through these 2. Now take the stitch marker and then insert it into the first stitch. Like I told you, I'm really bad at these stitch markers. I really have a bad history. They wouldn't just obey it, how much matter I tried to, This is the way most of the reasons in my projects I wouldn't be using stitch marker unless and until I get confused, like these types of projects. Okay, now you have to crochet all across here for round 5. Again use single crochet, no decrease, no increase. You have to come back over here. I'll be showing you for the first few. So insert your hook into this first stitch, yarn over, go through this V. You'll have 2 loops, yarn over and then go through these 2. do the same thing all across. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, go through that one, you have two loops, yarn over, and go through these two. So do that all across. I'll meet you over here just in case you get confused. Now you see over here I have completed from here to here. Over here you no need to get confused over here because you already have a V, so just go underneath the V over here like this. Make sure these tails aren't at your side or mistakenly you crochet them, because it's gonna be a big problem. So just the nearest stitch, if you exaggerate it, you find it over here, insert it, do a single crochet like usual, yarn over, go pull it through it, you have two loops, yarn over, go through these two. Now go to the next now just go to the next stitch, and then yarn over, go through that, yarn over, go through these two. Over here, yarn over, and then just go through that like this. Like this, you just yarn over all across till the slip stitch. So now I have crocheted all across there. I have reached till the slip stitch. So just insert your hook into the slip stitch. The first stitch. I'll just remove. Just remember where your first stitch is located. Oh god. Boy. Yeah. And then just yarn over, pull it through this, and then pull it through this one. And then just tighten it. Now you have to actually go down it, right? Like this. So for that we need to actually do decreases for it. So this round I'm gonna be explaining about decreases and all. So for round 6, just yarn over and put a chain. All the time chaining one is important for the height of it. As you can see, your heart is coming to life. So you just need to do the decrease for doing the decrease for the down like this for that. So now after chaining one, now I'll be explaining you about decrease. First you have to do 4 single crochet and then 2 decreases, but let's first do the first single crochet. Now after you change one, go through the first stitch, yarn over, and the first stitch is actually the single crochet, and then use a stitch marker to mark the first stitch. If I actually zoom in too much, the video is coming blur, so I'm gonna be going down over here lay low. Now you have to do, that one is actually 1 single crochet. Now you have to do 2, 3 single crochet, 4. So after 4 single crochet, it's actually time for a decrease. Decrease is actually just like an increase, but increase you're gonna be expanding it, and decrease you're gonna be decreasing it. So for that, we have to go through the first loop of this one and the second first loop of the second stitch. So you see the V is like this, so we usually go underneath the V like this, but for this one you're only gonna go underneath over here. So like only have to go through the first loop like this, or no, don't go fully, like only this one, and then for the second stitch it's gonna be like this one. So that's just that. So you're gonna be crocheting the first loops of 2 stitches, because we're going to be combining 2 stitches together. So for that, just go to the first loop of the next stitch, and then go forwardly, go to the next stitch over here. Next stitch is first loop. Now you have 3 loops. Yarn over, go through these 2 at the same time, so it to create a single crochet. Now yarn over and then go through these 2, and ta-da, that's a decrease. Congratulations, you did a decrease. Now let's go and do another decrease. Now go through the first loop of the next stitch. Now go to the second loop of the next stitch. You have 3 loops. Yarn over, go through these 2 first. Now yarn over, go through these 2. So you have an you have an decrease right now. So now what you're gonna be doing is you have to do 8 single crochet from here. So for single crochet you have to go through the first stitch and then yarn over, go through that loop. You have to go through. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to go through this one, remember? So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wait, I just added the wrong thing. I get confused myself, guys. So it's 7 and then 8. Now we have to do actually 2 decreases, so you know how to do it. Just go through the first loop of the next stitch and then the second loop of the next stitch. So we'll have 3 and go through these 2. Yarn over, go through these 2. You have 2 loops. Yarn over, go through these 2 loops. That's one decrease. And now go through the next stitches. First loop over here like this. Next stitches, second loop. You have 3. Yarn over, go through this first 2. Yarn over, go through these 2. So it's 2 decreases now. So now after you do the decreases, now you see the leftover stitches, you have to do single crochet. So I'm doing it, I have 3 stitches left over, so I have to do 3 single crochet. Remember guys, from each and every round you have to count it, because it is really important. Few people you may get it 4, few people you may get it 3. It's okay, because 3 and 4 won't make a difference, but if you mostly get 4, it's mostly you'll get a perfect result. If you get 3, you may not get a perfect result. Here it may go. I always get 3, so I'm telling 3 good, but I prefer you guys to go with 4. So now just do a slip stitch to the first stitch. And guys, actually I redid the whole thing and then made sure I get 4 single crochets. And I've just come back where the slip stitch part should be. So do the slip stitch and then just tighten it. Now you have formed a heart shape like this. You just have to do a few more decreases. From here only decreases and single crochets and slip stitches. So let's do it again. And now for the next part, it's actually really easy. Just single crocheting all across. Later we'll go with decreases. I'll tell you, so many people will be really finally this decrease is gone. So let me just show you. Yarn over, first chain one for the height, and then go through the first stitch. Go through the first, oh god, go to the first stitch and then yarn over, go through it. You have two more, yarn over, go through these two, and then remember to mark it with a stitch marker. Now single crochet all across. So I'll tell you few things. Inserted it and then yarn over, go pull it through that loop, and then now you have two more, pull it through these two loops. So again yarn, put it to insert it to the next stitch, yarn over, and then you have two loops, go through these two. So do it all across and I'll meet you when I reach over there. I reached until the slip stitch part over here. So just insert your hook into the stitch and now remove the stitch marker. Now just like 1 minute, yarn over, go through that one and then pull it through this one for a slip stitch and then just tighten it. We did single crochet so that we could get a perfect heart shape, so we could even increase the height and maintain the decrease over there. It also actually decreased a little bit, you see, to get that perfect shape. That's why we did a single crochet. So now you have to, like always, chain you have to chain one, and then do a single crochet, and you have to do 3 single crochets like that. So 1, 2, I forgot, you have to mark the first stitch. I forgot it. Well, I'm marking it here. You can just remove all of them and mark it, or else if you know where the slip stitch is located, you can, where the first stitch is located, you can. So it's actually, now I made 3 single crochet. Now it's actually time for a decrease. So like I explained you, let me explain you again how to do a decrease. So first you have to go through the first loop of the next stitch, so over here, not full, like, yeah, over this one, and then go forwardly the next stitch, first loop, like this, and then yarn over, go through these two, you have 2 loops, yarn over and go through. You have our first decrease. Now go through the next stitch, first loop, second stitch, second loop, yarn over, go through these two, you have 2 loops, yarn over, and then go through these two. So now actually we have to do a 6 single crochet. So go with the next stitch, do a single crochet. For single crochet, I have to go through the 2. So yarn over and go through these 2, yarn over and go through these two. So like that, do 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now what you have to do is do a decrease now. So for the decrease, just go for the first loop of this next stitch and the first loop of the next stitch, then go through the two stitches. Now you have to yarn over and go through these two. Now go into the stitch, and then the stitches next front loop, yarn over, go through these two, yarn over and go through these two. Now you have 3 single crochet left, so do 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Now do a slip stitch, now just another stitch marker, then yarn over, go through that one, then go through this one, go through this one, tighten it. So now you have to do 2 single crochets and 2 decrease. For that, first you have to chain 1. Chaining 1 is always important. So chain 1. Now do 2 single crochet. So go to the first stitch, and then yarn over, 2, yarn over, 2 single crochet. So now you made 2 single crochets. Now that's time for to make a decrease. So now it's actually to make 2 decreases. Like I mentioned in the few videos, you might have gotten a hang of the decrease. So just insert it into the first loop and the next first loop. And then another decrease. I'm not explaining it because you guys could have gotten a hang of it. If you really do feel it trouble, then you can go through my previous videos. I mean the previous part I explained, or if you want me to explain more, please do let me know in the comments. Now let's do 4 single crochet. So 1 single crochet, now the 4th single crochet. Now I did 4 single crochets. Now the next step to do now, you have to do 2 decreases. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now another decrease. Now 2 decrease. Now 2 single crochet. So in the starting round I forgot to keep the the stitch marker, so keep the stitch marker actually. Now do slip stitch in the first stitch, then just tighten it. Now you have to stuff the stuffing inside this, the main part, and I have these leftovers. Just stuff it. And I forgot to tell you guys, you remember the tails we actually had at the front? It actually is inside the things as we crocheted, and let it be inside only so it wouldn't be disturbance and you need not weave in later. And now just stuff the stuffing. Now and now I'll stuff it and meet you later. I have stuffed everything now. Now it's the last round finally. So for this round what you have to do is chain 1 and do 6 decreases. Like you have to do decreases all across. And then last you could chain 1. So let me do the decreases. 1, you don't need to count it actually because until the end you only have to do the decreases. Mark the stitch mark. For decrease you need to mark it or else you'll get really confused. So I did 1 decrease, another decrease, I'm making another, oh god. So here it's actually tricky for me. And then now yarn over, go through these 2, yarn over these 2. Now go through, I'll do another decrease. So do the decreases. And then yes, now I've did all the decreases. Now just insert it inside the stitch marker, I mean the first stitch, and then do a slip stitch and then tighten it, and then to fasten it off just do 1 single crochet and then just pull a big loop and then just cut it, and it's done. Just pull it off like this. Ta-da, you made your heart. For this you just have to weave in. Now insert it over here to there, cover just to insert it over there, and now just cut it over here. You can just, and then it will be disappearing over here, and ta-da, you have completed the heart. So please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.